It's the Daily Talk Show episode 307.
Happy Wednesday.
Hump day. That's normally what you say.
Yeah, hump day. I dropped it. Let you take it over.
What did you think of the coffee today?
Coffee was good. Was it another blend or that same one that I said was stronger?
Yeah, it was that same blend.
Yeah, you know, I like a bloody fireball in the morning. I like it just tasting strong and dirty.
30 grams of coffee.
Yeah.
Is what's required.
Amazing. It definitely just gets me buzzing though. My
Anxiety?
heart starts going. Yeah, it's almost on the edge. Just start worrying.
Yeah, you've got me self-conscious about me drinking my water.
Yeah, it's annoying. But I didn't say stop it. I just said...
You haven't really brought it... You waited until Ryan John came in before you said anything.
It actually worked out perfectly because I put that into the Asana, our show preparation platform, and I was like, this would be funny. I could bring this up. And it actually was the perfect platform when Ryan said what annoys you about each other.
Yeah.
And
it's better that than some other things.
Definitely. I think it's sometimes, I mean, we're in this space of like searching for the little pieces of nuggets of content that could potentially insult someone.
It feels like you maybe were going lighter. Did you notice that with the Ryan John stuff, I was going super deep and you were going a bit light? Were you getting slightly nervous that I was? Yeah, but you're a big baby.
I can't go hard on you. I have to go water bottle.
You to go hard.
Yeah, I know. You ask many things, but it doesn't mean you actually can take the many.
Well,
things.
I wonder if it's just because of like if you put it out there.
Yeah. No, it's a split second decision to decide, and it was actually one that I was thinking about, the water bottle.
Okay,
it's a funny one, but you know, today's another day, mate, and don't drink your bottle.
Mr. 97's on full time now as our producer.
Oh, it's bloody brilliant. He's got a bloody, what do you call it? A little jive to his step, or like a little hop in his step. Is that what you say?
Spring in the step.
Yeah, thank you. That's why he's here.
Yeah, thank you.
But where he's doing a bit of a Marie Kondo on all of our shit, sorting out some of the hoarding that we've been doing.
Yeah,
specifically on email.
Yes.
We gave him access to our Hi at the Daily Talk Show email address.
Yeah, well, things are changing. As we said on Monday, we're dedicating the whole day to the Daily Talk Show, responding, writing, planning, all these things. So it can slip by the wayside when an email does come through. But to be fair, we do mention most or nearly every single email we get on the show. Yeah,
we do it on the show, but we're not good at then closing the loop and emailing them back. And so that was a criticism that you had of us, 97.
Yeah.
So have you gone through, how many emails have you sent so far?
I've got about 6 or 7 drafts that I've just got to hit send on.
Okay. He's signing it off as Mr. 97 and the boys.
Yeah, love that.
I think that's good.
And then producer? Is he putting that in there?
I haven't done a signature. I've just done...
You could put a little producer underneath.
There was one that I didn't want you to respond to.
Okay.
And that was an email from our mate, 3D Dill.
How many emails in total has 3D Dill sent?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
You see these
9,
conversation
10.
chains with the emails. Less conversations and more him following up.
Yeah, I would say he sent 10 emails. We've responded back and forth. But it's fair to say we have spoken about it quite a bit on the show. We're fairly excited. His first email to us was on January 30 of this year, 2019. And he basically was just saying, hi, my name's Dylan from Toronto, Canada, loving the podcast. Just finishing listening to episode 264, Camels Are Misunderstood, which he agreed with.
Yeah, I remember reading that out.
Yeah, and so this is where the love story started on that day, because he informed us that he was a 3D modeling designer. He uses a program called SolidWorks, and he offered to develop the 3D file, would you call it?
Yeah, for the Squeegee.
For the Squeegee Keyring Cult, which then we could go on and have 3D printed. Here's the thing. That was January. On the 28th of January, of February, so a month later, he sent an email saying, just checking in again, I've got some good news that I wanted to share with you guys to help your conquest to fulfill the promise made in the Daily Talk Show of the Squeegee Keyring Cult.
Someone's making sure we're keeping promises.
He bought a 3D printer. And
huge investment.
Next minute, he's bought tickets to fly out to Melbourne.
It escalated quite quickly. And so we thought we'd give him a bit of a call on FaceTime.
Yeah. This is to discuss his his progress, just all things. Basically, we're calling him to cover off on all the emails he sent us.
Well, this is the first time that we'll ever have 3D deal.
Here he is.
Hello.
What's going on, mate?
Not much. How are you?
Oh, we're really good. How good is this? The future is now. We can hear you loud and clear.
I know, right?
Josh, are you recording the screen?
I'm recording the screen.
Just checking.
Yeah.
You can't see me. Can you flip your screen so it goes?
Oh, well, okay. Sorry.
There we
go. That's
Here
better.
I am. I'm creeping in.
There we go. There's Tommy's face.
How are you, dude?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're really good. So we've just been...
You guys look a lot different from the downward angle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Less flattering?
I'm used to seeing you guys face on. It's different seeing you from like a low 3/4 view.
Yeah, this is, an exclusive for you. What do you think of our other angle?
I mean, I can see the ceiling in this one, so I think the other angle's a little better.
It takes
looks a bit shit.
It takes the glamour away from the forward-facing shot that we do put out there. Yeah. But what's going on, mate? What time is it where you are?
It's right now. It's 7:13.
Okay, PM.
7:15 now.
Yeah, great. And temperature-wise, just getting a gauge on the weather?
It was actually really nice today. We had a lot of sun.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 3 degrees, 4 degrees.
Yeah. Is it snowing at the moment? Is it...
No, it was snowing yesterday. We're supposed to get more snow later in the week, though. Yeah. Snow and rain.
Okay, great. And so we've just been reading out some of your emails, specifically the first one that you sent in January. When was it? January 18?
January 30, I think it was.
Oh, yep.
And then fast forward 4 weeks, you bought a 3D printer, and
pretty much.
It's all bloody happening.
Yeah.
So what's the 3D printer that you bought? Give us a bit of a run through, geek out on it.
So geek-wise, it's nice. It prints PLA, which is your more environmentally, safer type of plastic that you can print.
Okay. Mine approves.
Prints up to 0.1 of a millimeter, which is relatively high quality in terms of what you can get as a budget printer.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, it's pretty quiet.
Yeah.
I have it right next to my bed, and I can fall asleep and not have to worry about it. So I can just cue something up to print, and I can fall asleep, and I wake up, and it's done.
So you're actually sleeping in the manufacturing plant of the Squeegees?
I live in like a 9-foot by 9-foot box.
Yeah.
Half of it's taken up by a bed. The other half is taken up by a desk, and then any loose space is taken up by the printer.
Are you able to turn? Have you got a laptop going? Can you show us the printer?
Yeah. So I've got it just over here. So I'm going to take you guys.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So that's the printer right there.
Oh, look at the protein. Did you print that protein container as well?
No, but I should have. Keeps me hydrated.
And so how many different prototypes did you need to do before you nailed the Squeegee where it's at the moment?
I had to do a few. Some of the prints worked out quite well. Some of them didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Tried to do a lot of work, especially around the handle area, because it has to work well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It has to hold your keys.
Yeah.
So the first one had a very small hole and a relatively large lip, and you couldn't actually get a ring through it. So it kind of sucked. Yeah. The other one started to print but didn't turn out very well, but that's kind of a look of what you get on the inside.
Oh, wow.
Of the actual print.
And so
just so that way it's not printing a solid piece of plastic.
Material-wise, how much is it costing every time that you are doing a prototype?
Each prototype costs about $5.
Okay,
amazing.
Mate, you're printing money there. Crazy. And so how many different prototypes have you done in total, or how many versions?
Right. I printed 3 today.
Yeah.
3 final ones today.
Uh-huh.
So this is the last one that just came off the printer about half an hour ago.
Amazing. So that's like a final version before it gets treated.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So there's some support material on the bottom that gets ripped away, basically.
Yeah.
And you're just left with the final form. Uh-huh. But pretty much about 9 or 10 different physical forms before getting into what it was going to look like in the end.
Yeah, interesting. And so what other stuff have you been 3D printing?
I 3D printed a Tron bike.
A Tron bike?
Small little scale model of a Tron bike.
That's the movie. It's like a futuristic look.
Josh doesn't watch movies, so he wouldn't know.
No. So
no
Tron
idea.
is Tron the big, are they Marvel?
It's pretty old school. And then they remade it. It's got like a big front tire. Mm-hmm. I think you'd see it. It looks real futuristic.
Yeah.
I hope bikes
you'd
don't
recognize it to see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I printed one of those, just some little odds and ends, printed a little a mount for a roof rack on my friend's car.
Oh, that's cool.
Because he bought a used car and it didn't come with a certain mount, so we made it up in the CAD program and plugged it into print. 3 hours later, it was done.
3D deal. I think it was Josh that gave you that nickname. Have you now had to pivot everything that you do moving forward in the future, having to do 3D design?
I've really started to think about it. I've started to think about changing my social media names over to 3D Dill.
Yes, absolutely.
It's good. I love it.
I think it's got cut through. Peter Shepherd, who we've had on the show a couple of times, I was walking with him this morning. He said, 3D Dill got cut through. Yeah. So that's positive.
Dill, you've told us a bit about what you've been doing.
Full name.
3D Dill. Sorry, mate. You've told us what you've been doing at uni and stuff like that. Where are you wanting to get into? What's your passion? Because you mentioned making a documentary, video stuff. What's your vibes?
I started out doing a lot of fine art in high school, so a lot of traditional painting and whatnot. And then when I got into school, it started to get more of a graffiti aspect, and then that turned into the sketching that we do in class. And I work as a tutor, so I'm able to further refine what I do based off teaching it. Most of it right now is basically pen digital concept sketching. And that's something that I'd really like to get into in the future. But then there's also the whole creation aspect of videos, photography, graphic design. I don't really want to restrict myself in one specific thing. I'd say if I can do more of what I love doing and less of what I don't love doing.
What's your thought on
I think that's
passion project? Because essentially this is a passion project that you're doing. How much time are you spending on doing stuff that has no real sensical monetary value to it?
There's huge sensical, not money. Makes a lot of sense.
Value.
3D Deal, this is the best decision you've ever made.
Not monetary value.
Financially, it's fucked for you. But outside of that, it's great.
What's your thoughts on what you're doing, where you want to get to, and doing all that free work?
I definitely want, if it can be free work for now, and that's cool, but if I can turn it into something that becomes something totally beyond what I ever expected, then that's totally cool. I definitely think that having a passion project and working on something, because like I'm in school full time, so that takes up a lot of time, but everyone needs time to just de-stress and kind of have their own space, do their own thing, like sort of break out creatively. So I think it's crucial. And like when I was in my second year, it was just school all the time. And by the end of the 8 months, I was totally blown out. Like I was completely done. And I just took the 4 months over the summer and just did whatever I wanted to do. Just did random artwork, random paintings, graphics, just stuff that was never related to school, stuff that no one was ever going to see, just to sort of refresh the creative filter.
Yeah. Have you ever bought anything on Alibaba?
No, I've looked a lot on Alibaba, but I've never actually bought anything. I don't trust Chinese manufacturing.
We only get our stuff made in Canada. As for now.
We should. I mean, it's probably too late, but having made in Canada.
Made in Canada would be.
We can get that. We can get that on there.
Yeah, that just cost him $45 printing all of the ones.
Surely there's a way of doing it. Because I was wondering, like, what would the process be if we wanted, say, if someone wanted to make 1,000 of these, you have the 3D printed version. This is for our small cult. If down the track we wanted to expand and say
scale the cult.
Yeah. What would the actual process be? Would you just give those CAD files to someone on Alibaba and hope for the best?
Probably you'd have to send it to some kind of something this big would probably just be injection molded with some type of a plastic.
Yeah.
And to do that, you'd have your CAD file. Someone would probably remake the CAD file to fit certain specifications that you need with injection molding. And from there, the manufacturer would probably end up getting a mold custom made for it, which is probably going to run you anywhere from 15 to 20 grand. Wow. Just to get the mold made.
Okay.
God, I mean, we're willing to invest in the cult, but that's
big money.
That's a lot of money.
Big money. I think we could probably, Yeah, we could manual labour. It'd probably be cheaper for us to get Mr. 97 just to make them from some form of other material.
There's another way to approach it though. It's a little more handcrafted way. You have this, which is the 3D printed part. Have you guys ever heard of sand casting?
No. Sand casting, no.
So basically what you do is you have your original part of what you want, and you have two halves to a mold that has this really badass sand in it that basically doesn't melt when you heat it up. So you pack your part in really tight and you sandwich the two halves of the mold together, and it creates an imprint, kind of like Play-Doh, of your part. And then you close the molds, put the two halves together, and now there's an empty cavity of this shape inside. And there's a filler hole that you pour liquid metal in, and that basically will then fill this up. It won't melt the sand.
Yeah.
Once it's done, you take the two molds out, and now you have a solid metal.
Do you know?
I've seen that happen.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Videos
I've
of that.
seen soap being made like that.
Yeah, candles too. You can get like a mate of mine's got this company that has a bell that is wax, and it's for the Bell's Beach Rip Curl Pro. And so it's a surfboard wax that he's had created. It's firstly, Dill, it's not
3D Dill.
3D Dill. Do you know where the origins of the squeegee? Just wanted to check in on that.
Yeah, I am. I'm quite aware of that.
No, that's cool.
My dad was a little confused. He's like, "Why is it a squeegee? Like that makes no sense." So I said, "Okay, hold on and listen." So we're driving home from getting my passport reapplied for, because I had to reapply for the passport. So we're driving home, and I plugged the episode 14 into the car system, and
he knows it.
I said, "Okay, just start it around here," and then he listened to it, and he's just driving. He's got this stoic face, and Josh says what he does with the squeegee, and he just
what
sort
I
of
did with the
turns to me, and he gives me this look of like,
this is what you're doing.
This lunatic.
Come on, Dad, haven't we all explored?
Yeah. Well, I could imagine actually being you could do the squeegee at scale as a soap. Like take that exact thing, turn it into a shower soap. We could have a little bit of rope, and you could hang it.
Don't drop the soap.
On the shower.
I mean, the other option is latex.
yeah, you could do that as a version as well. Look, there's many options.
We should get on to episode 14. We should just scratch onto it. Episode 14. I mean, we don't want people like you want us. It's a peacocking move. You're like, what's that? Don't worry.
Yeah,
it's all a part of the cult.
Yeah, I don't necessarily. Exactly. I mean, the brand's developed. Episode 14 was a long time ago, and we all move on. And so there's a part of me which wants to own my history.
Yeah.
There's also a time to move on. I feel like this is the sort of squeegee in the sand to sort of be able to say, this is the final bit of squeegee merch that we'll ever do.
Well, it's a limited edition. Yeah. There's only a certain amount of people in the cult. We'll have to find one of your new things that happens in life or something that I do that we need to really... I don't know. We'll work it out. Let's get through this process first.
3D Dill, sorry about our horrendous email etiquette. Mr. 97 is now full time with us, and he was having a go at us because we've got all these emails, and because what we do is we read them out on the show for people and we respond on there, but then we forget to email back. But you sent us an email at our big media company email address.
Which wasn't where the emails originally came through.
Yeah, exactly. So this was more sort of more of official type of thing. You've sent it to big media company. Now you're actually starting to see what big media companies like. You're seeing outside of the wooden wall.
You're seeing the cracks.
You're seeing the cracks appear. So we've never done it before. But what you're saying is, so as part of your uni. TAFE or whatever it is, you can do placement or something. How does it? Can you explain it all?
Basically, what they want us to do before going into our fourth year, which is our thesis year, where we basically spend a year working on one big cumulative project. They want us to get an experience of actually working in the creative industry, whether it's working in a manufacturing place or a concept place. Or various other kinds of things. A lot of people work at a photography studio or graphic design companies. But basically, it's the whole idea is to get real world experience outside, not just in school, because in school it sort of kind of gets filtered a little bit. Yeah. everyone sort of works off the same principles, and the projects just keep getting recycled over and over. So basically the whole idea of the internship is they're either paid or unpaid. It depends on the company. But the student, in this case myself, goes to the particular company and basically works for them for the summer.
Yeah, great.
For a 4-month period.
Do you know what the deal is with, like, is it because we're in the Commonwealth and stuff? Is it like very easy where you can just get, what sort of visa do you come on? Do you know?
I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think it's a super arduous process.
Yeah.
I was talking to one of my profs about it. She actually used to live in Melbourne. Oh, cool. When she was a student, I
was going to say, what's her name? As if I would know who it is.
It was Catherine Chong.
Catherine Chong. Yeah, Kathy. Kathy. Great lady. Kath? Yeah, can you get that nickname? Okay, cool. So, because the thing is...
so are your mates doing a lot of their placements...
overseas?
Within Canada? Is where I'm going.
Right now, I believe there's one person that's going to Denmark.
Okay.
To do his placement.
How far is that away from where you are on a plane?
On a plane, I want to say Denmark is 10, 11 hours. Yeah. I could be totally wrong there, but
double that and chuck on a few more is what it takes to get to Australia.
Yeah.
And what you've proposed to us is that you want to venture out here, down under, come to Melbourne, and help out the boys.
And you've got, have you got flights, did you say, or where are you at with things?
I've looked at flights right now. I'm waiting. I've just reapplied for my passport, so I'm waiting for that to show up.
Yeah.
I have an ETA, which is an electronic travel authority, which basically means I'm allowed to go into Australia, but that one doesn't permit me to work or make any money when I'm within the country.
That we would get.
Yes. Yeah.
But basically, I'm just waiting on the passport, and as soon as the passport shows up, I can book flights and sort out a living condition.
Yeah, you get those Air Canada flights that Josh was saying that he found were cheap.
Yeah,
and was surely
Air Canada, and then it connects to Air New Zealand, I think.
Yeah, Air New Zealand's great. So I reckon I reckon one of the things, TJ always gets nervous when I get on the show because I'm Mr. Promise Janssen. I love making a good promise.
80% of the promise list is Josh's promises.
Yeah. But I reckon there's a few things. I reckon we need to find out the legalities of it all, like what we have to do. Because I reckon what would be sick is if it was easy for us to sign you up and do it all, we've got all these different networks in Melbourne, like the Quad Lock guys that are building, like they've got their the phone cases that mounts onto bikes and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so a bunch of different people, and even your bro, what he does.
Yeah.
What is it?
He works for a company called EGR, and so they manufacture. They've basically got from start to finish manufacturing process, design through to big machine printing and metal cutting. They do like installs for Coles, which is a supermarket over here, and Red Bull was one of their old clients. Their business actually makes all the molds for the back of utes, trucks. So it's unbelievable. They're based out of Brisbane, but my brother heads up the Melbourne, Sydney office.
And your bro even made helmets. You design helmets.
The stuff that you do, 3D deal. I saw some of those sketches and on your Instagram. So similar. Yeah. My brother used to spend hours just like carving out, with a pen. But then he would actually do molds of helmets, and so he designed a helmet that was in the Tour de France. He was industrial designer. That was the course he did.
Yeah. So but I reckon we should work out like what if we can, whatever we can do at our end to help in regards to signing stuff off, hooking you up with all of our mates around Melbourne. I think that'd be something cool.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is the vetting process to see that you're not a killer.
Yeah, exactly.
You definitely don't look at a killer. I don't think a killer would print 3D squidgies for us.
Well, maybe. I reckon that's exactly what a killer would do, potentially.
And then use it to kill you.
Yeah, exactly. But if it could be a Netflix original series, crime's very in at the moment.
I mean, we'll die so Mason can live on making a documentary about the founders of big media company.
Yeah. Well, no, it would be interesting because I search engine optimized my old website a lot, so I get so many people emailing asking like, hey, I'm from Spain, I'm from this place or that place. Can I do placement or whatever? But I've never actually looked into what it would take. Yeah. So that'd be interesting.
I mean, this is the thing we like Mr. 97 it's shooting through. It's like all about timing, where we're at, where you're at. It's so many things at play, and how much are flights. Yeah.
Well, the other thing we can do, I mean, accommodation's probably going to be the hardest thing. I don't know if you heard. We like sleepovers. I don't know about 4 months of sleepovers.
4 months of sleepover is a little excessive.
Yeah, and then Mr. 97, you're going to have to ask him if you can sleep in his room. So there's a lot going on there. But I reckon the other thing too is we've got a lot of listeners in Melbourne. So you say 3D Dill isn't fucking crazy as far as we're aware.
And so what is the plan? You need to...
Yeah, what do you need?
Yeah, what do you need?
To come to Australia to work or to come and visit?
Well, so to do your work experience or to do your, what do you call it, like an internship, what's that look like?
To do my internship, I basically need, I actually wrote it down. It's on my phone somewhere here.
Perfect. You can even use this video as your visa application, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's a working holiday visa.
Okay, great.
Which basically allows me to support myself and for learning and experiences.
Okay, great.
That's basically the classification of it.
Do you know if you can it can work within your skill? Like I wonder if that's like skill.
I believe so.
Yeah, perfect.
I think you can sort of BS it so that it fits.
Yeah. And then you'd need, like, as far as uni goes, are you having to sign off on hours committed?
Yeah, I have they gave us a whole package of sheets that has to be filled out by the employer within 48 hours of accepting an internship. And then from there, you're just logging hours. And if it's an unpaid internship, you're just there for the time. It's a bit of a different process, but it's basically saying that you show up and you're actually doing stuff. Yeah. They make us write like a report about it and talk about our experience and whatnot. So.
And what would you want to get out of it? What's the main things you want to walk away with?
Just exploring a different industry, because I think the whole design and manufacturing and the whole production aspect of everything is totally different in Australia in the same way that it's totally different from what we have here in Canada, the same way that it's different from places that you get over in Europe. Yeah. It's like experiencing a totally different culture of design and production and processing and how we approach different things in companies as well.
Yeah, great.
That's sick. It's exciting. So they let you take 4 months off uni.
Well, it's like summer, is it? Is that like?
It's during our summer, so your guys' is winter, I guess. Yeah. But basically, between May and August, those months before fourth year are allocated to a work placement.
Yeah, great.
3D Deal will be walking around in a singlet in the temperatures that we have over here in Melbourne. Nothing compared to where you are.
And so, would you want to do stuff with big media company? Would you want to do stuff on the show? Could you imagine, like, from a doing different sort of stuff? Obviously, you're talking about video and photo and all that sort of thing. Does that stuff interest you as well, or do you just want to use this as an in?
I think video is something that I never really explored as a kid. I always thought I was good at photography, and then I actually started to learn how to take proper photos. Yeah. But I think that's definitely something that I would like to get into, because for a lot of our projects now, we have to make a video for the product. Yeah. And all of our video making experience is so primitive. All these shitty little 30-second videos get done in iMovie or something like that. Yeah. And they look like crap. But I think exploring outside of that, gaining experience in the digital realm of media is something that they don't really emphasize at school here. Yeah. We've only just gotten our first digital sketching class.
So what would digital sketching be? It's like
you guys know like the Apple Pencil and the iPad Pro and all that stuff. Basically using those. There's other tablets like Wacom and other tablets that allow you to digitally sketch the same way that you would on paper, but you have a whole lot more creativity and control. Yeah, kind of like Photoshop. in a way where you have different brushes and stuff.
Well, heaps of artists are using that before they go to canvas.
Yeah.
So they're getting
even Kim Lamb was doing a bunch of stuff on her iPad.
Yeah. Well, you've got a leg up, mate. We use iMovie here at Big Media Company.
That's not true. That's not true.
There we go.
Just kidding.
Well, there's well, I reckon we should do a Kickstarter video for the Squeegee. Maybe we could do, if we were to extend it one extra level.
Yeah. Where we sell them.
Where there could be some sort of buy-in process, short run, create a whole Apple-esque style Squeegee video talking to the designer.
Oh, like a high
3D
end,
deal, but really fucking overbake it.
3D deal. How big is that 3D printer? I know I saw it, but in terms of transporting it to Australia,
he's not bringing it. He's not fucking bringing the printer.
Transporting it,
pain in the ass.
It's completely doable, but I have a feeling it would be a very expensive box.
Yeah, I reckon.
Maybe we just buy one.
Well, my mate Blage gets right into the 3D printing stuff, so I'll have to find out what he's got. He gets really into it.
It'd be good to have one just working away over there while we're doing the show.
Yeah.
Can't even hear it.
Well, Quadlock even just got a lease on a new place where it's in. They got a machine that just does that vibrates.
Yeah.
And so they had it in their office set up so that they could test their bike mounts, all the different mounts. The problem being that it would shake the whole building. And so now they're in this sort of underground concreted sort of
got
office.
A car park. They got just like a dedicated shake room.
Yeah. So we've got to do a video.
So that's where you've got to be staying.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure you could, if you don't mind, if you can, sleep with a 3D printer. What's a little bit of vibration?
What's a little bit of vibration?
Exactly. 3D deal, mate. Keep us updated. We'll be on the email and stuff and working it out.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm pumped.
Yeah, I'm super pumped too.
Exciting, dude. So nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys too. It was awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, 3D deal. Have a good one, mate.
See you.
3D deal.
Yeah, there he is. Oh, he's shot some fingers up.
Amazing.
Oh, I love that. I love it when you meet people on the internet that aren't crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I have been a big, what would you call, proponent or celebrator of meeting people online.
You have, and I mean, sometimes it's never ended really badly for you.
Nah, I'm trying to think. Like, definitely. When I was even younger, I was doing it. Like, I remember meeting people when I was maybe like 18 or 19. Mr. 97, you do it all the time. You're meeting people from the internet. Think about us.
Oh,
essentially, it was through the internet.
Yeah.
The two guys that he spends the most time with
met on the internet.
He met on the internet.
Yeah.
I was walking along the other day with you and Josh, and I was thinking that. I was like, isn't this weird? Like 4 or 5 months ago, Mr. 97 didn't even know who we were.
Yeah.
And now he's hanging out. I guess it's like going to a new job. You end up having all these new mates that you didn't know before. But the difference is the internet stuff.
Yeah. I would love to be able to, how much fun was that?
Yeah.
Like, it'd be good to be able, the main thing is we have video. Hopefully that video actually, I think it worked, which is good. But it'd be great to get more of that type of stuff, where if we have people on, you can see them.
I guess, I mean, this is where you see people with huge audiences. If they open that floodgate.
Oh, it'd be crazy.
It'd be crazy.
So, I mean, how do you vet it? You can't really vet it. You just got to give it a crack.
Yeah. And we gave it a crack with Dylan. He's a legend.
3D deal.
Sorry, mate. 3D deal.
It's a Daily Talk Show.
Tattooed on my wrist.
Yeah. I've got to ask him about. He had some tattoos. Got to ask him about those. Hi at thedailytalkshow.com if you want to send us an email. Anything else that you want to bring up?
Stickers. They are over there. There's a whole heap of envelopes. They're going out this week. So majority of them are international. Sweden, the UK.
Mr. 97, any admin that you want to bring up?
Anything?
No, I don't think so. I think we're sweet.
Yeah, no worries.
All right. Happy Wednesday, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you guys.